at the airport. There's a bit of noise here, and I was thinking it's time for quotes that make me think. Number 5. Or maybe we should call this episode the airport vlogs, because mostly here is where I'm shooting, at the airport. I'm turning 29 by the end of this month, September. So this is gonna be a special episode of quotes that make me think about something I'm not very comfortable with, but which I'm going to work on more. Because so the topic will be yourself, and I stumbled across my notebook where I write quotes when I read and notes and stuff, and I realized reading through them this weekend that I had like many references of that. So let's look at it. Airport noise. It's almost impossible to find the spot noise-free in the airport, but I'm still searching for it. Okay, this is the most quiet spot I found. The light, I hope, is good but not perfect. But I'm gonna start this special quotes that make me think episode number 5. This is the notebook. You can see it's like a bit broken, but who cares? It's all here. So the first book I'm gonna take a quote from is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Chbosky. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name right. I really like this one. It's like a young adult novel. I read it about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and I do recommend it. And here's the quote. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to be who I really am. And I'm going to figure out what that is. Which is funny, because sometimes, even if it's like be yourself, like, okay, but what is it? What do I want to be? And all that. So I guess we are who we are for a lot of reasons, and maybe we'll never know most of them. But even if we don't have the power to choose where we come from, we can still choose where we go from here. We can still do things, and we can try to feel okay about them. I really like this one, the last. Maybe it's not about being yourself, but accepting your past, accepting who you are. Noise. Accepting who you are, and that's something not so easy. It got super noisy there, so I had to move. So now I'm in a spot with no people right now. Let's hope it stays this way. And I want to give you some quotes from Open, an autobiography by Andrea Agassi. It's one of my favorite books. It's really inspiring and vulnerable and raw, and I do recommend you read it. Noise again. So this quote. They call me a rebel, but I have no intention in being a rebel. I'm only conducting an everyday run-of-the-mill teenage rebellion. Subtle distinctions, but important. At heart, I'm doing nothing more than being myself, and since I don't know who that is, my attempts to figure it out are scattershot and awkward, and of course contradictory. I'm doing nothing more than I did at the Bollettieri Academy. I write very badly, that's why I really like that. Look, can you understand anything? No, I know. Backing authority, experimenting with identity, sending a message to my father, trashing against the lack of choice in my life, but I'm doing it on a grander stage. So it's quite interesting to see, because these quotes are from around when he was in his 20s. One is from when he was 29, which is my age in a few weeks. it's interesting to see that I'm not the only one struggling to figure out who I am and to accept it. But I have another quote I really like. It's like, if I had time, if I were more self-aware, I would tell journalists that I'm trying to figure out who I am, but in the meantime I have a pretty good idea of who I'm not. I'm not my clothes, I'm certainly not my game, I'm not anything the public thinks I am. I'm not a showman simply because I come from Vegas and wear loud clothes. I'm not an enfant terrible, a phrase that appears in every article about me. I think you can be something you can pronounce. I couldn't pronounce it either. And for heaven's sakes, I'm not a punk rocker. And I listen to soft, cheesy pop like Barry Manilow and Richard Marx. Yeah. It's really good. Now let's have a look at another book I really liked. Was James Altucher, Choose Yourself, Be Happy, Make Millions, like Live the Dream. I read this book for the first part, Choose Yourself, not the Be Happy, Make Millions, Live the Dream, because that's fine. I'm not after money or anything. I know how happiness comes from within and stuff, but this Choose Yourself, this was something I wanted to read about. And the first quote I put down is very strong for me. It says, we choose the life we want for ourselves. You choose that life by doing the best you can right now, in this moment. Right now, by being bold in this moment. It's the improvisation right now in this moment. So he talks about a lot about being present in the right now, about business, and one line I wrote, which could be said by anyone, but it's like, all I want to be is me. And that's true. It's a funny period. Now I'm looking, and the other book I read and have notes on is Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead by Sheryl Sandberg. She recently wrote a new book, Option B. It's about loss and getting over. I'm reading that currently. It's on my list. But let's look into this. This is more work related, but we can take this quote and see it also from a different perspective. It said, we are so rarely brave enough to tell the truth. Being honest in the workplace is especially difficult. Maybe sometimes it's difficult being honest in day-to-day life, not only in the workplace. It says all organizations have some form of hierarchy, which means that some performance is by someone else's perception. This makes people even less likely to tell the truth. This is something, speaking up and being honest, it's not something that easy. Fear of not being considered a team player, fear that constructive criticism will come across just plain old criticism, fear that by speaking up we will call attention to ourselves, which might open up to attack, a fear brought to us by the same voice in the back of our heads that urges us not to sit at the table. But sometimes we should sit at the table. And if there's a quote, I said it before in an episode, it's like, if you don't have a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. I don't remember who said it, but it's there. The last book I'm gonna quote today is Strive by Arianna Huffington, another good book, and I'm gonna give you two quotes. I couldn't decide, I almost had three, but I stopped at two. An old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, he said to the boy. It's a terrible fight, and it's between two wolves. One is evil, he's angry, he envy, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued. The other is good. He's joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you, and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute, then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." It's like a Cherokee legend. I don't know what this Cherokee is. Maybe I should look into it. But this is a good legend. Think about it. Which wolf are you feeding today? Is it the anxious one, the evil one, or is it the hopeful one, the peaceful one, joy? I don't know. I'm trying to feed the good one. So this is similar to James Altucher. I'm supposed to be here right now, and I'm open to the journey and to the discoveries and to the adventure of all of this. Be here now is all about being present and not fearing what you don't know. I think this is something that I've learned in the past year. It's like being present is the most important, being here and being myself and vulnerable. It's not easy, I'm telling you, it's not. But being in the now, not regretting the past and all that is a step forward. And I'm gonna end it with, I'm an Instagrammer as well. And I follow a girl on Instagram, Bollettieri. It's really hard to pronounce her name. I link her Instagram profile in the comments below. But she writes like really nice posts. And one said, which is the one which we should end this special episode. When I don't know what to do with myself, I remind myself I just have to be myself. Which is true, and which is what I want to be more okay with. So if you have any piece of advice, I would be happy to read them in the comments below. And let me know what you think about this episode. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again with episode 6.